of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Hello, and welcome to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. I am your host, Carol Riddick. And as you know, I am joined by the one and only Miss Kayla J. Happy Tuesday to you all. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. And thank you. Thank you for joining us. You know what time it is. You know what I like to do before we get into anything else. I like to do a little check-in or a roll call, if you will, whichever of the two you like to call it. I enjoy both, but if you are hanging out with us on our socials, send us a hello. Let us know that you're there, please, because you know we love the love. We love all the love there is to give and receive, quite honestly. So if you're on our socials, say hey. Send us a hello, send us a hi. Let us know how you're doing today, how your day was, if it was good, bad, or indifferent, because, you know, we share all of that right here. We work through it all right here on Love and Life. And family, if you're simply listening, I want you to know that we feel your love. We always, always, always do. And it is always appreciated. It is greatly appreciated. I should add that. And lastly, but certainly not least, for those of our family members whose light is shining just a little dimly today, I want you to know that I'm sending you all the extra love and hugs that you can handle. Do you hear me? All of it, all of it, all of it. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. This too shall pass. All right. This too shall pass. So if today is your birthday, and I'm saying this because I believe we should all be celebrated. We should all be spoiled absolutely rotten. So if today is your birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy born day. I know there's so many things that people say, but happy born day, happy birthday. Welcome, welcome, welcome from that other trip around the sun, as some other people say. And so our family members that are joining us, that have joined us thus far on our socials are Ellis Anderson. Hey there, Ellis. Hey, family. Ellis is family. Hey there, Tigressa. She's family too. Hey, you. Hey, hey, hey. Brother Nasir. Thank you, as always, for joining us. Nilsa. Hi there. Hi, beautiful. Hello, Hallahan sister. She writes, that's right. Hallahan it is. Hallahan it is. Love always, always. I do want to send some extra love to one of our family members, Timothy Robinson. He joins us regularly, and his family, they lost one of their loved ones. So to Timothy Robinson and his entire remainder of his tribe, because this is part of his tribe too, right here. But sending some extra love to their family for the loss of their loved one. So, family, you know what it is. You know, today is Tuesday. As we move further, today is Tune Up Tuesday. And you know what we do on Tuesdays. You know what we do. Dillon Swaine gets us into shape. He gives us tips and tricks and all of that good stuff. Hey, K-Word Radio. Happy Tuesday to you. But Dillon Swaine is going to join us for our Tune Up Tuesday. I can't even get it out of my mouth. What's wrong with me? What is happening? Y'all know I'm always tripping over my tongue. What is that? But for our family members who are unaware, or unfamiliar, Dillon Swaine is a widely talented fitness coach, athlete, and entrepreneur, amongst so many other things. He's also the CEO and founder of his own fitness company, Swaine Train, and he's here to talk with us tonight and to share with us some exercises and stretches that we can do to help strengthen not only our bodies, but our minds. So, you know what, without further ado, because when we get into these conversations, you know, there's always so much to talk about. Family, I invite you to the conversation with Dillon Swaine. Hey there, Dillon.
Hey, family. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you.
Uh-huh.
I'm ready for our tune-up, Dillon. I'm ready.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready to give that tune up. Hopefully, everybody had an awesome July 4th weekend. You know, it was Independence Day, celebrating your patriotism. And for those who served, thank you. For those who lost loved ones in battle, thank you.
Oh, that was so nice of you. That was so nice. Thank you for that. Thank you. I forget. You know, we only see each other once a week, and I'm always trying to remember what I've missed in the, you know, in the meantime, in between time. Well, you know how it goes. We all have so many moving parts to our lives. And then when you just said that, I said, oh yeah, that was just that was just last week.
It was just last week, wasn't it?
Oh my goodness. It feels like it was like 3 weeks ago. But yes, so thank you for that. Thank you for the reminder, and thank you. You're absolutely right. Thank you. Thank you for that. I want to take a moment before we move further, Dillon, to recognize some more of our family members that are joining us on our socials. Wayne Garrick. Hi there, Wayne. It's awesome to see some a greeting from you. So thank you, Wayne. Thank you for joining us. Ashley Scott. Hello. He writes, hello, madam. Hello, Ashley. And Miss Viola. Hi there. Hi there. She's checking in. She writes, I'm here. I'm here. Nico is joining us as well. Peace and love from the DMV. That's what Nico shares. Thank you, Nico. We're sending love right back to all of you. Dillon, I'm anxious to have this conversation about exercises and stretches and things that we can do to help strengthen not only our bodies, but our minds. But I have some questions for you too, because I've been moving around a lot.
How's those steps coming along?
God, I want to say that I thank you so much, you know, because I've been able, but with traveling a lot, I'm fatigued. I don't want to get up to exercise, to move, and so it doesn't help that I'm not eating. I haven't been eating well. I have not been eating well. I just really have not. It was not my plan. When I'm home, I do well. I do so well when I come home. I do well, but as soon as I get on an airplane, it doesn't work out so well for me. It doesn't. But okay, so that's personal. So we're going to move to that a little later in the conversation. But for now, we'll start with the topic at hand. Okay. All right. So we're talking about exercises and stretches to help strengthen not only our bodies, but our minds. So where do we begin?
How we can start there. I don't know if anybody has heard of this. Maybe you can tell me if you've ever heard of this. You ever heard of the word seated meditation, zazen, or maybe like reflective, sitting down in a quiet spot, working on breathing exercises, working on your diaphragm, breathing out your nose? You ever heard of something like that?
Yes. Yes.
So one of the coolest things that I learned when it came to, you know, step one, how do I get a workout in, but I'm tired? I just traveled like 3 hours. I just traveled on a flight, I guess, 3 times in the last 20 days. I'm fatigued.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to eat the chips and the snacks on the plane. I'm trying to be conscious, so I don't really have energy. And bringing food international, you already know how that goes. You get stopped immediately, and then you gotta get checked. So what I learned is something called zazen. It's actually based in Asia, long time ago, based in Asia. And
Okay.
Zazen is seated meditation. Now, this can actually help you with your work performance. This can help you with your stomach. This can help you with your clarity of mind. And all it is just sitting down in a quiet space and telling your body, hey, shut up, sit down, don't
Oh,
think. But what
yeah.
you want
Oh,
to do is focus
that's
on one
hard.
thing. I know, right? Isn't it?
Oh
To
my
just
goodness.
not do anything?
You know, I'm a creative. My mind is always going, even in my sleep. I mean, it's just always, always. But go right ahead.
Yeah, this is actually a super hack. This is a superpower
Okay.
for all creatives.
Okay.
And those who I follow, those who are on the higher echelons of, I guess, business and productivity, they all use this in the morning at around that 5 a.m. wake up time, that 5:30 wake up time, that warrior's hour.
Okay.
And they call it Zazen or seated meditation. So what you want to do is sit down in a quiet spot, cross your legs. If you ever seen, you can type in lotus position.
Okay.
You can type in Zazen positions. It just means sitting with your legs crossed or with an upright back, upright spine. You put your left hand on top of your right hand, put your thumbs together, and you cup 3 inches below the belly button. And that space is called your hara, Hara. So the hara is a central point opposite of the lowest part of your spine. So as you sit upright and you focus on that lower portion of your abdomen, as you breathe, you'll slowly start to feel air going into your belly around that area, which is your deep diaphragmatic zone.
Okay.
Now, what you're doing is training your body to not breathe from your shoulders and your chest. If you ever have neck pain, a lot of people who sit at the desk, like you and I, we're always at the computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of those who are listening, a lot of the people who are listening, the men and the women, they're probably sitting at a desk working 9 to 5 jobs. And if they have their own business, they're working on a computer
Mm-hmm.
and maybe automating and delegating, but most of the stuff is at a seated position. So what we tend to do is lean forward, arms are on the desk, and we mess up our posture. And then we end up with neck pain and back pain. So then we end up going to masseuse, chiropractor, and it's just not helping. Here's a trick that's literally threefold. It's going to strengthen up your stomach and start showing your abs more. Number 2, it's going to actually fill your body up with oxygen. It's going to make you sit down and focus on your breathing. Number 3, it allows you to fix your posture, align your neck, spine, and hips, and calm down your amygdala. Your amygdala is that point of your brain that's based with emotion and high anxiety decision making. So if you're pressured to get a lot of work done in your day and you got multiple things to do, you got kids running around, maybe you even forgot you have little ones running around. You're like, who are these little things running around with arms? Like, because you've been running in your business. I get it. I don't have kids, but I get it. Right. Like this is a really good thing you can do. And what you want to do is set a timer next to you, 5 to 15 minutes. Real quick. 5 minutes at the start, beginner. 10 minutes intermediate, and then 15 minutes if you can sit down, that's advanced. And you just focus on your air going in and out of your nostrils, mouth closed, eyes slightly closed so you can let light into your soul. And what you think about is just the air flowing down into your lower abdomen, your hara, on the inhale, and on the exhale, focus the air coming up the spine and to the back of the skull. You're going to actually start lifting your pelvic floor. Guys, this is important for you for testosterone. I won't get into that today.
Well, you can. I mean, listen, this is for everybody. Well, I mean, that's what we do. We talk about it all here. So don't have one of the guys call you out and say, okay, so what? What
Well,
help
guys
me
going to help you love in life. I'll tell you that.
Okay. So it helps to increase, or it helps. What does it do as it pertains to testosterone?
Well, it helps manage your I guess impulses and urges, but it actually focuses on lifting your pelvic floor, which is associated with higher testosterone, more decision making, stronger attention, so you don't fall victim to your impulses. Whether it's like, hey, I want to go procrastinate, or hey, I want to go overthink this, or hey, I feel impulsive, I want to go do this, because it's making my emotions heightened because your amygdala can't calm down. So everything is hormonal, and it's going to help balance your hormones.
What's your amygdala again?
It's a tiny part in your brain.
Okay.
Near the inner small base portion of your brain, and it
It
controls your
control
emotions and it
your
controls your
emotions.
anxiety
Okay. Okay.
levels. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Ah,
So if you're coming off
yeah.
a plane, yeah, that's the best thing you could do. Right after you just sit, or right before you get on the plane in your
Hmm.
little seat as you're chilling and waiting for the gate to open up, close your eyes. Hopefully nobody starts acting crazy in there. We got a lot of things happening nowadays, but hey, trust God. Everything's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I pass out on the airplane. I do.
Hey,
As soon as I sit down, I mean, great. I'm grateful to God for that. As soon as I sit down, I pass out, which I'm happy about that. But for those who, because I know there are a lot of people that have anxiety when flying, so that would be what you just suggested would be a great thing. Trying to, center yourself so that you can get to a place of relaxation for your flight. I mean, I've sat next to people that really, really, really had severe anxiety when flying.
really?
So this would be yeah,
How is that?
yeah.
Because I've never had that happen to me.
Um
Probably interesting.
yeah, well, I mean, to say the least, but I felt so badly because there's nothing I could do. But the two times that there was someone sitting directly next to me that had severe anxiety, I was they both asked me to just, well, one asked me to hug her. She wanted a hug to help to calm her, and the other asked me to just hold her hand.
That's great.
So I did. I mean, I
Wow.
understand. Well, I get it. I mean, I'm just used to flying, but a lot of people are not. And that, look, it's a lot. And especially when, if you think about it, if you overthink it, you really could spiral. You really could spiral thinking about that. But I'm mixing apples with oranges. Family, if you have just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. We are talking with Dillon Swaine. It's our Tuesday tune up, and we are talking about exercises and stretches and different things that we can do to help strengthen not only our bodies, but our minds. I want to take another moment to recognize some more of our family members that are joining us on our socials. Kevin Cofield. Hi there, Kevin, special K Cofield to be exact. Hey there, Kevin. So glad that you two are here joining us. Timothy Robinson. I hope you heard the shout out, Tim. I was sending extra love to you and your family for the loss of your loved one. We are keeping you in our prayers. Thaddeus Cradle is joining us. Thaddeus, thank you so much for being here. He seconds your opinion, Dillon. He writes, trust God. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
And you're absolutely right about that.
There's no
So we're talking about anxiety. We're talking about relieving stress, quite honestly, because everything what you just suggested to us helps to relieve both of those things, right? Anxiety, stress, and in the process helps to, you said, strengthen. You were talking about the tummy for the women. But listen. What does it do? What does it do? How does it help our stomach? What does it do?
Sure. Physically, imagine you flexing your stomach constantly in and out for each breath as hard as you can
Uh-huh.
for 5 minutes straight. It's hard to do that for just 30 seconds. So what you end up doing is as you breathe out, you're pulling your belly towards your spine and you're working that transverse abdominis. That's the part of you got three parts of your stomach. You got transverse, which wraps around your spine and it girdles it so it protects your spine.
Okay.
Two, you got your rectus abdominis. That's the one that everybody sees. Once you lift up your shirt, you see the rectus abdominis. And then on the sides, obviously, you got the obliques, right? Against below the rib cages, you got the nice V going. It brings your hips closer, brings your hips more narrow. And those are your obliques. So what it
Okay.
does, it works all three of those muscle groups as you're breathing. And when you're breathing out and you push your belly button closer to your spine and you're working from the hara, not just your shoulders, you're actually putting all of your breathing and energy into your stomach because your diaphragm is opposite of your abs. You're taking away your chest and your shoulders, which is what we naturally tend to do.
Right. And you said when we're breathing in and out through our nostrils, or are we?
That's right. Mouth is closed.
Okay. Mouth is closed.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Family, I'm sure you have questions. I know you have questions for Dillon as well. Y'all know I always have a ton. I always have a ton of questions about everything. But if you do have a question, feel free to share your question in our socials, or you can do so by calling us. And you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. What we're going to do right now, we're going to go to a break, but know that the phone lines are open and feel free to post your comment on our socials. Hi, Miss Lily. Miss Lily is joining us as well. But whatever you do, stay with us because we will be right back.
Struggling to pay your water or sewer bills? New Jersey's low-income household water assistance program can help you avoid service disruptions, restore services, pay reconnection fees, and stay up to date on payments. Don't get shut off. Apply for the low-income household water assistance program today. Call 211 or visit waterassistance.nj.gov.
Hello?
Man, where are you? I thought you were coming.
I can't. I'm in bed with the flu.
The flu? Whoa. Grandma's about to crowd surf. Man, I'll call you back.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is safe, effective, and you can get it at the same time as your COVID-19 vaccine. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Hey, did you feel that? Feel what? Feels like a wave just hit me. I think something's happening at WURD Radio.
Are you ready?
WURD Radio's rocking the boat and bringing you new programming. Beginning Monday, June 26th, check out some of your old favorites and new additions in new time slots. New position. Morning Drive begins with The Source with Andrea Lawful Sanders, Monday through Friday from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., followed by Wake Up with WURD with Solomon Jones, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Get your news and entertainment from Reality Check with Tanya Pendleton, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Keeping it real with Reverend Al Sharpton returns to the middays, Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Your drive time remains enlightened by Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro, Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And grab a nightcap from Love and Life with Carol Riddick, Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Listen on air and online at wordradio.com. WURD Radio, celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media.
Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor. Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Stay politically minded and informed with the Black Women's Leadership Council, Fridays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on WURD, 900 a.m. and 96.1 FM. Progressive Black Talk Media. Streaming online at wordradio.com, on social, and on the WURD Radio app.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with Dillon Swaine. It is Tuesday. That's right. And it's time for our Tuesday tune up. And so before the break, Dillon was helping us with a tip on how we can, what was it called? Zazen, right? How we can
Zazen.
use Zazen. Was it Zazen?
Yep, Zazen.
I was about to say, did I mess that up? Because I will. I am my mother's child. We will rename something in a heartbeat. But I got it right, yes. So Dillon was sharing with us how we can try to make an effort. I'm going a long way with this. We're trying to make an effort to get rid of that stress and that anxiety. All right?
Yep.
Okay. So Dillon, what else do you have for us today?
Awesome. There's a big idea question I want to shed some light on. There was a question about how does staying fit ultimately help build your mind to be stronger instead of just your body going to the gym. What's the other benefit?
Mm-hmm.
So on top of Zazen and clearing out your mind, clearing out your day, when you're fit, you actually have, you have more muscle, you have less weight or things carrying you down, not just in your mind, but on your body. You get to move faster. You get to be more nimbler. And as you work on your flexibility and your mobility in your 360 space, you're not bogged down or disappointed when you go bend down and grab something or reach up or make a sharp movement and you got that pain or that ache. Or let's say you got that knee ache or that foot pain or that ankle pain, and you're walking constantly and you're like, oh, I got to take an ibuprofen. I got to take an aspirin. All these things are gonna bog you down. They're gonna just make you reliant on pharmaceutical medications. But let's say if you're not really at that level yet, but you got to get some work done, and you're in and out of the gym, you're moving and grooving, but you're not at the pace where you want to be. Taking yourself to that next level in your physical body, in your physical space, forces you to say, I'm going to make a decision to push through some pain for long-term pleasure, for a long-term reward in the future. That one decision in your brain, again, controls your amygdala, which is that one part in the brain that controls your anxiety and your emotions.
Okay.
So if you're able to go to the gym on a constant basis, number one, you're setting your routine and allowing yourself to increase adrenaline, which is going to imprint something in your mind. Whenever you have an adrenaline spike, let's say if you're angry, you're excited, you're fearful, you're going through a fight or flight reaction, your adrenaline is actually going to imprint that experience in your mind. And it's going to make it easier for you to handle that situation in the future. So if you're going to the gym and you're taking, pre-workout, and then next thing you know, you don't take pre-workout, you may just have a feeling of, hey, I don't want to go to the gym. That's because your brain has been programmed with adrenaline and pre-workout. If you're able to make a decision to get up in the morning and just take a walk, a 30-minute walk or a 20-minute walk, even if it's 10 in the sun soaking up vitamin D, now you're working on your vitamin D intake. You're not going to become vitamin deficient, which is associated with, if you want to call it depression, but anxiety. There's no clarity going through your mind. There's a whole bunch of things just shooting through. Skin is affected. Your hormones are affected. By the way, guys, little deviation here, and we'll get back to the question. Vitamin D is a precursor to your testosterone. All hormones are made from fat, cholesterol, and the good cholesterol. We're talking about HDL, high density lipids. So if you have omega-3s from fish, from supplements, flaxseed oils, these are going to help you increase your testosterone. Now, if you have vitamin D works with fats in order to create testosterone. So get out in the sun, get to walk in, use this time to get your daily steps in that we talked about a couple of weeks back on this show, on the radio. It's going to help you burn some calories, increase testosterone. And if you hit Zazen beforehand, you're now getting more clear-minded. You're becoming a higher performer. And you're, again, hitting that amygdala 3 times already, just from sitting down and focusing on your breathing. 5 minutes to 15 minutes. Number 2, You're telling yourself to sit down and then go do the next thing according to plan each and every day. Number 3, you're building your body, going through some tough pain. Let's say if you don't like lifting weights, but you do one exercise of lifting weights and then you move on to your mobility, great. You're pushing past 1% each day.
I'm listening. I am listening intently, and I'm listening to the gym and the lifting weights. And I don't know when the last time was. And this is not, I am not saying this proudly, family. I am not. But I'm saying this because it just in the event some of our family members are like me, who've not been in the gym for a minute and who've not lifted a weight. So I wanted to make sure that we, there are things we can do as well. Not to say that I won't ever do it again, but just because currently I'm not in the gym and I'm not lifting any weights. Is there something that we can do to help us? Well, the ladies, well, I know we with our estrogen, and the fellas with their testosterone.
Mm-hmm. Number 1, we talked about Zazen. That's number 1. I'm never going to change that one. You got to get to meditating each and every day. If you're not, you're missing out on a superpower given from your creator, whatever religion you believe in. But you're missing out on this superpower. You sit down and breathe. It's going to help you fill out your purpose in life. And we can get on that in about a few seconds. Now, working out, walking. If you can put on your shoes, go walk for 10 minutes, put on a podcast, look at your phone, call some friends, handle your social media accounts, whatever you need to do, just take that walk, go about twice a day. Incorporate walking as your breaks, especially after you eat a big meal.
That's a good idea.
Especially after you eat a big meal,
Okay.
Help you digest it faster.
That makes sense. Okay, family, I'm checking in. So if you've just joined us, if you don't know, I'm about to tell you. You're tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. You know I'm going to say it just because I like to do so. That's WURDradio.com. We're talking with Dillon Swaine, and we're talking about exercises, stretches, and all kinds of things that we can do to strengthen or help strengthen not only our bodies, but our minds. Because, we talk about health and wellness here a lot, because I want to make sure as I take temperature that we're doing all we can do to help these machines of ours keep moving forward. So if you have a question or a comment, feel free to share it with us on our socials. Or if you'd prefer to call, you can do that too. And you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. Or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. And so I want to make sure, I'm taking my little notes and stuff over here. I got some notes, the lotus position and everything else. And because you said we can look that up, right? That's when we're practicing Zazen. Is that the position in which we're to sit?
Yeah, that's the most advanced position. There's beginner positions where you just cross your legs, like crisscross applesauce or Indian pose, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Or at the most basic, sit in the chair with your feet planted, 90-degree bend in the legs. Put your hands left over right, 3 inches below the belly. Touch the thumbs together. Align the spine and neck, and gently let your eyes fall low until you get that little bit of light entering your soul. Breathe in.
I recognize you said twice, left hand over the right. Is there an importance, a significance to that?
There is. I didn't really go into the research of why left over right. That just ends up being a posture.
Okay. 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 I noticed you said that. So let me make sure I find out. I want to make sure we're doing this correctly. Right, Ms. Lily? We're going to, Ms. Viola, we're going to sit. I already had my hand in place. I'm going to practice. I am definitely going to practice this.
5 minutes. Hey, if you want, try it tonight. Let me know how it goes.
I am. So just 5 minutes.
Set a timer between 5 and 15 minutes. Yeah.
Anytime between 15. Family, let me just tell you. And those of you who have been here for have been coming regularly to spend some time with me. You already know I am all over the place, and it doesn't stop until I pass out at night. When I wake up, I'm right back at it. I am on 1000. I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to go here, I have to do that. So trying to, and I imagine that most of us are like that. I attribute it. Well, no, I equate it. I always say I'm the hamster on the wheel. I don't say that positively, but that is what it feels like to me more often than not. So I imagine most of our family members, if not some, are that way as well. The hamsters on the wheel. So telling yourself that you have to sit still, that's the first part. That right there is the first part. And as I'm listening to you talk about, doing these things to strengthen our mind, I mean, that's a part of the exercise right there, because I have a lot of energy, and that telling myself to sit
This will
down.
increase your energy.
Say this again.
This will actually increase your energy.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. When you think of one topic and then you got to context switch into a whole nother topic. Oh, I got to answer this phone call and then get back to this project. Or I got to multitask a little bit. We both know there's no such thing as multitasking, but we try. Well, what's actually happening is, just like a computer, when the first computer was made, it was a single processor. It did one job, completed it, then the next job, completed it. Nowadays, we got multi-processors in our Macs, in our Chromebooks, and we can do internet, Zoom, we can do phone call, we can do music playing in the back. It can do a ton of things. But I'm gonna let you know right now, family, our brains didn't change to multi-processors. It's single processor.
I like to believe that, we do all possess a multiprocessor. I do like to believe that. I'm the first to say, yeah, I'm multitasking. And I know when you're doing several things at one time, not one of those things gets, your undivided or full attention, because you're multitasking, if you will. So I get it. Dillon, why you have to throw me under the bus?
Hey, not you. There's a funny quote. He said, I forgot, I don't even want to say where I got this from, but it was like, you know how you can do half behind stuff. You can do two half behind stuff. Now you're just doing a whole behind stuff. I was cracking up. Now you just
well, that's basically that. You said it right there. Oh, family, do you hear this? So I'm curious to know, any of our family members that are listening and watching, do you meditate? Do you take the, I'm learning. I will say this. I will share this. As as I'm going further along in my maturation process, I am learning to take more time for me. I'm learning to shut down, but I don't do it as often as I should. Like, you're saying every day do this, and it might be once a week for me right now, where I take a moment, to shut down, where I take some time to do that. But I'm curious to know how many of our family members, do this every day. And, I would like to say, because, in the morning when I'm reading the word, but that's not the same. You're talking about shutting off completely, like meditation and, strengthening the mind and body at the same time, simultaneously. So, family, do you do this? I would love to know. As I'm asking this question, I am waiting to know what you do, because I want to know. So let me know. In our socials, you can do so, or you can call us. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. My cousin Tawanda Edwards is saying, Lord, I wish I could. Cuz I know, she said, too funny at your joke. I want to tell you, okay, cuz I'm so glad to read that. She said, Lord, I wish I could. And I know she's just like I am. We're the hamsters on the wheel. We're constantly going, moving, because there's always something to be done. And as a woman, I say it all the time, as a woman, oh, please, life, listen, we're still working in our sleep. We're constantly doing stuff. It never ends. So that is the hardest part for me, telling my body, even now when I do it once a week, and I have to make a huge effort to do it once a week. But even now, trying to, tell myself to sit down. Don't you look at anything. Don't you read anything. Just, You know how hard that is?
It's spiritual. You just
Mm.
who just said this? Lord help, Lord please. Who said that?
My cousin. She
Well, cousin, sit down and say Lord please, and ask help.
So you know what? You just hit the nail. That right there, you just reeled me right in. You just pulled me right in because here I am talking about meditating in the morning and reading the word. Well, I mean, what better time to do it than before or after after I read the word.
After
After
you
I
got
read
it.
the word. That's it. Oh, Miss Lily shares, I rarely meditate. She writes that she's working toward incorporating meditation on a daily basis. Me too. I really am. Oh, you
How
know
on earth
what?
can we get closer to God after reading His Word if we don't reflect on the Word?
I
We're
know
just gonna
you,
go straight to work.
Dylan, you're gonna stop throwing me under the bus. You know what? Because that's exactly no, I know I'm just teasing, but that's exactly what I do. I read the word, I take a breath, and then I'm okay. I got to start. But you're absolutely right. I need to take the time to digest it, to process it fully, and in doing so, I can also add to that time, you know, I can add some moments to just shut me down, to get to recharge. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, see my cousin. Oh, now she said he better preach. He is so right. You listen now. Family, listen. If you have just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD. We're going to take just a short commercial break. So stay with us because we'll be right back.
Word Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey is brought to you by Comcast.
It doesn't have to be the dog days of summer for your gadgets to overheat. Your smartphone will usually become physically warm to the touch, but here are some other signs your devices are getting too hot. If apps or other programs freeze up, basic functions take longer than usual, or your laptop or smartphone shuts down unexpectedly, that could mean that it's too hot. If you think your device is overheating, here's what you can do. Keep gadgets out of direct sunlight, especially in the car. Make sure your laptop fan isn't being blocked, and turn down the brightness or take the case off of your device. This might also be a cue for you to take a little break for a while as well. Finally, make sure you're not resting any devices on your bare skin. You could actually get burned if your smartphone or laptop gets overheated. Keep your cool and stay safe this summer with your tech. And stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I'm Carol Riddick, the host of Love and Life. And guess what, family? I will be live. That's right. I can speak with you about the real facts and honest opinions on dating, sexual health, casual and committed relationships. Join me Monday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The conversations will be served on a judgment-free platter and seasoned with unapologetic realness. So join me Monday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Hey there, family. We are back. You are tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with Dillon Swaine, and we are in the midst of our Tuesday tune up. So, Dillon, because I know you're about to leave us, what will you leave with us today to close out our Tuesday tune up?
Of course. Sorry, I got to go so soon, family. But one big question I was asked recently was, how does being fit incorporate into our happiness? You know, like we work out, but we're dreading it. How do we get a happier, more fulfilled life? So I wrote this in a newsletter that you can actually see on some of my sites. But so when you're fit, you actually have a purposeful communication between you and yourself and other people, and then your higher power. And what I defined as happiness is a sense of fulfilling a purpose. You know, we always fulfill a purpose, and once we're getting on that journey and we're accomplishing, we usually feel happy, no matter if we have setbacks or pain throughout the journey. As long as we're on that mission and we're going each step of the way and we see ourselves successing, we can deal with it. But remember, the sense of fulfilling a purpose, it's not actually your purpose, it's just a purpose. And I got to let you know, whose purpose you serve will determine how long you remain happy. So I feel uneasy saying this because it's kind of my own internal thoughts, but someone needs to say it and speak up. So remember, I believe that each word that you use is a word that's going to convince yourself or another person of your opinions, of your vision, of your idea. So as you become more fit, you become a better communicator. You become you have a better appearance. You have a better vibe. You no longer have to rely on, let's say, alcohol or addictions, because you set your mind on straight. You're disciplined. You're more fit. You're cleaner. Your nails are harder. Your hair is harder because your hormones are now fluctuating at a normal flow, or maybe even better. You have less things holding you back. You have less anxiety holding you back because you trained your amygdala to calm down. Instead of releasing so much cortisol, which is going to break down everything in your body, and releasing so much, not serotonin. Yeah, release so much serotonin and not melatonin, allowing you to actually get to sleep. Now you're just staying up all night and you're not really getting the rest that you deserve, that you really need to go ahead and grind for other people and for yourself and to do your higher powers work. So coming back to fitness, as you complete your Zazen, you're actually sitting your body down and you're getting into your purpose. You're going to realize, why am I sitting down just breathing? You're going to find some sort of way to make a meaning of it. And in that 5 minutes or 15 minutes, in that workout period, in that zone of you pushing past something hard for a bigger purpose, you will find that happiness. But I'm just going to let you know again, whose purpose you serve. If it's yourself, there's an end date to that. If you're serving money, there's an end date to that goal. If you're serving something eternal, you got an eternal purpose and you're going to be happy all of your life. Now I'll leave you with.
Wow. Dillon, thank you so much for that. Thank you. And as always, thank you for our Tuesday tune-up. So that was our Tuesday tune-up with Dillon Swaine, founder of Swaine Fit. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, you missed a lot. We were talking about exercises and stretches that we could do to help strengthen not only our bodies, but our minds as well. And family, you all had me cracking up. Tawanda, my cousin, who was joining the conversation via our socials, had me hollering. Ms. Lily, Tawanda, I think that we're going to be better. We're going to do better from here on out. I'm claiming it. I am claiming it. I know it's going to be a slow rise for me, but I am definitely going to do better. So Dillon, thank you so much. We will see you next week.
See you guys soon.
Bye-bye. Family, OMG. So here we are. We've been talking about, wellness. We've been talking about wellness so much lately. OMG. I cannot wait for our next conversation. Our next guest, I just want you to know, the first time that she came to the show, I just fell in love with her. Just fell in love with her. And ever since then, I've just wanted to know more about her and what she's doing. And, I've been using her products and I feel like I'm doing well. I feel like, I don't know yet. I don't know, but I feel like I'm doing, I'm doing well. But y'all hear me and discipline. Do you hear me? What the heck? What is wrong? Me and discipline. Sometimes we're the best of friends and then sometimes we're estranged. So, staying on that horse, I've been trying to make a big effort to do that. But what I will have you know is that the last time she was here, she was sharing with us about a product that she created that has been doing so well as it pertains to natural hair and natural hair care. How about this? Why don't I just go on and say it? Our next guest, she is no stranger to the show, as I'm explaining to you. She is a natural hair enthusiast and scientist with a BS in cell molecular biology. She is the owner and creator of Lillian's Lush Organics, a company she named after her late grandmother. That just touches me. And she's going to be here tonight to talk with us about hair loss, from where it comes and how to navigate. I'm anxious to have this conversation because I've had so many conversations in the more recent past with men and women about hair loss. It's been a huge topic of conversation. So I'm anxious to talk with her to hear what she has to say, especially since she's a scientist. Who would know better, right? Who specializes in natural hair? Who would know better? I'm going to our socials for a minute. Ms. Lily, I see you. Miss Lily writes, Carol, I am claiming it. I'm also claiming it. Well, guess what, Miss Lily, you are not alone because I need to do better. Okay, I need to do better. We are all thanking Dillon for the valuable gems that he left with us. Perry P is joining us. God bless you as well. I think, we have guests on this show that share such good information with us. And I know that all things don't apply to everybody, so I'm well aware of that. But there are just some things, like what Dillon just shared, when talking about finding that zen, finding that quiet space, and claiming that moment, claiming that to recharge, to refresh, to strengthen, your body and your mind. I think that's something we can all use. That's something we can definitely all use. And y'all hear me. I'm always on 1,000. I am always. And as a creative, who's not? Who's not? But just going through everyday life, who's not? Because there's so much to do. So this is what we're going to do, family. For those of you who have any questions about natural hair, I'm going to ask you before our next guest comes into the room, because we're going to take a short commercial break in just a few seconds. But I'm going to ask you to get your questions ready. If you have any questions about natural hair care, before she joins us, share them with us in the comment section, or you can call us, because we'll be ready to take the calls after the commercial break. And you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. Or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. I haven't talked with you guys not much about recent events. And I want to just mention something really, really quickly, because I just want to share this. I want to see what your thoughts are before we go to commercial break. Really, really quickly. This one headline I read today, it reads, Farming Fights Hunger with New Green Resource Center in Norristown. As the pandemic heightened awareness of the need to fight hunger in all parts of the world, PHS partnered with Montgomery County to develop a new kind of program. They dedicated 3 acres of Norristown Farm Park to establish the PHS Green Resource Center, which grows and ships food to various organizations in the area. So I'm sharing this because y'all know I like to talk about things. When I read it, the first thing I thought about was that so lately I've been thinking about what's going on in the world. We always talk about everything that's going on in the world, but I've been thinking about where agriculture is headed, where food is headed, what's going on with our environment. And I know some people who are starting their own gardens, who are growing their own vegetables. So I'm curious to know how many of our family members are starting to do the same thing, because I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it a lot, y'all, a lot, especially when they started raising prices, on our foods, and they're talking about, possibly doing it again on some things. So I'm curious to know. Now, just ride with me on this. Just ride with me. But I'm just curious to know what you think about that, and if that's something that you are doing or are considering doing. I'm curious to know. But in the meantime, and in between time, what we're going to do is take just a short commercial break. But when we come back at the top of the hour, we're going to talk with our next guest, CARLY ASARY. So stay with us because we'll be right back.
What's up, Philly? It's Solomon Jones. Don't look now, but back to school is just around the corner. How will that work for you? Did your child's education plan work for you last year? Were safety issues, bullying, and persistent health concerns working together to make your child or grandchild's life miserable? Maybe it's time to consider Commonwealth Charter Academy. They know how schools should work. Commonwealth Charter Academy, or CCA, has a 21-year track record of providing a flexible, stable, online education in the comfort of your home. Enroll today at ccaeducate.me. Here are some benefits that could work for your family. 1, a world-class, flexible, customizable education streamed directly to your home at no cost to you. 2, laptops, headphones, high-speed internet access, and learning materials, all provided at no cost to you. Join the more than 4,200 students from Philly who already attend CCA. Enroll for the fall at ccaeducate.me. Trust me, they know how school should work.
Philadelphia, does it seem harder these days to get by? Well, there's one way to make keeping up a little easier, and it's right at your fingertips. The Philadelphia Water Department cares about your access to one of life's daily essentials. So get help with your water bill. Visit phila.gov/waterbillhelp today and apply for one of the assistance programs with options for low income and senior customers and those with special hardships. Even if you haven't qualified before, you may be able to get help now. So head to phila.gov/waterbillhelp to learn more.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Hey, Word family, save the date, Friday, August 18th for the 2023 Founders Day celebration. Please join us in person for an all-day block party featuring a tribute to Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD, food, music, the presentation of the Community Impact Awards, and more. You can also stand with Word Radio. Start or renew your 4Word membership on site. Save the date for our 2023 Founders Day celebration, Friday, August 18th. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We're bringing joy and power to the people. This is Word Radio, 900 AM and 96.1 FM, WURD, Philadelphia. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
This is your celebration.
Hi, I'm Sarah Lomax, President and CEO of Word Radio, and I want to wish us a happy 20th anniversary. Wow. It's hard to believe that we're marking 20 years of progressive Black talk media. It's been a wild ride. I started out as a host. Remember HealthQuest Live? Then general manager, and now president and CEO. We have grown, expanded, and evolved over the past 2 decades. What a journey. A big thanks to our incredibly talented team of hosts, producers, sales execs, tech, and admin folks, and of course, our dynamic leadership team. To our listeners, members, and sponsors, thank you. We are because you are. Stay tuned as we continue to bring joy and power to the people throughout the year. Happy New Year and happy anniversary, WURD.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media.
something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. So, all right, we've talked about getting our Zen. We've talked about strengthening our mind and our body. All right. Well, before the break, I was sharing with you that our next guest is going to talk with us about hair loss. I am anxious to have this conversation. So without further ado, family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than my boop, CARLY ASARÜ. Hey there,
Hi,
beautiful.
love. How are you?
I will not complain. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. So happy to have you with us.
I'm happy to be back.
I've been talking with some of our family members who were with us during the first episode, and when you visited us and you shared with us about your healthy hair serum. So when you presented this to me, I'm going to tell you the conversation, it had come up. I said, did she know? Like, did you know? Seriously. But I'm so anxious to talk about hair loss because
It's a
it's been,
big thing. It's a huge, and people don't know. And what they don't know how to deal with. So I think a lot of times, like for the last couple of weeks, I've been talking to a lot of like my customers. I just had an in-person event in Philly for the first time in a long time. Like I did like a vending event, and the fact that a lot of women and men don't have a clue about hair loss, I feel like that's the biggest problem. And when you know better, you do better. So I think that's more so like, I'm like, okay, this needs to be talked about more because again, a lot of people have no clue.
Yeah. So, okay, I get the fact that, for some people, it is a matter of health reasons, like some, an existing condition.
Yep.
But what are some of the other reasons? Why do people experience hair loss?
So I will say the biggest one that I see a lot, for like, again, for people, like, they're like, okay, what else do you do? Like, again, I tell people like I'm a healthcare worker by night, entrepreneur by day. So when I used to work with a lot of adults, or even people in general, we're not putting the right things in our bodies. We'll start there. So vitamins and all of that. The biggest thing that I normally see in regards to hair loss is vitamin deficiencies. A lot of people, I say this all the time to my customers, your only vitamins are not vitamin D and iron. Those are 2 of the 7 that you could be deficient in. But a lot of people are just like, well, I'm deficient in iron. Yes, you may be deficient in iron, but then the other thing that people don't do is they don't follow up. So once you know that you're deficient in iron, you see that your blood work came back on the lower side. Now it's time we need to supplement. If you don't supplement, you're not going to get what you're deficient in back. So a lot of people don't ask questions. They're just like, okay, well, I don't want to take iron pills because, again, a lot of people get constipated from iron pills. But when you take iron pills, you have to eat the right amount of vegetables, the right amount of fruit, fiber, water. Like, it's going to bind you up if you don't put those things into your body. Because again, it's like, again, it's just going to bind you up. And I remember a couple years back, I had the same situation. I was like, I'm not taking no more iron. Like, I'm over it. Like, and then I found a liquid. So I'm like, okay, we found a liquid. Now what are we going to do? And then for the first time, and a lot of women don't realize, women in particular, that a lot of us do have iron issues because of our periods. But again, if you see a change in your period, anybody that knows me, I run to the doctor. And any little thing I see, I'm going to the doctor. We're going to figure this out. Why did it change? So if you see a change in your period, and let's say once upon a time wasn't as heavy, and now it's heavier, why is it heavier?
Right.
And a lot, again, if people don't go to the doctors, they're not getting their labs done. So I'm telling people, like, get your labs done. Your labs can tell you stuff that you may have never known. And again, a lot of people resort just to iron and vitamin D. Those are two. Literally, you could be deficient in all of the vitamins from A to E. So vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, as well as your iron and your zinc can be low. You won't know unless you get your labs taken. And I had a guy tell me, he was like, well, vitamin D, you're not telling people they can get it from the sun. You can get vitamin D from the sun, but if you're that deficient that you're losing hair, we're going to have to supplement. The sun can't do it by itself. So Walmart sells vitamins, CVS, Rite Aid. Like, you can find vitamins at almost every store, even the grocery store. Get your labs done, see where you're deficient, and go from there. The other things that can cause hair loss as well that people aren't very well versed on is thyroid health. Your thyroid is another big thing that can be causing hair loss. A couple of weeks ago, it was funny because, again, I had a change in my menstrual, and I'm like, all right, what's up? The doctor was like, let's check your labs. Come to find out, I don't think with the value that I got back was affecting my menstrual, but at the same time, I found out I was severely low, which means that we now have to see an endocrine doctor because we have to figure out why. I'm not at the point of hair loss with the low numbers, but the issue that I do have, which is subclinical hypothyroidism, can turn into full-blown hyperthyroidism. So it now has to be like, I need to figure out what needs to be done. But again, it's not something that, okay, I got my labs back, they're on the lower side, we can just let it go. That's not something that you could just let go. So I tell people, get their T3, T4, and their TSH looked at. Again, your primary care doctor can order your T3, T4, and your TSH. That's 3 of the basic hormones for your thyroid. Like that can be on the deficient side, or on, some people have hyperthyroidism, which is your thyroid is overactive. If it's hypo, it's underactive. So again, it just takes a little bit of blood, just a little bit.
So wait, so hyper, or, well, I'm sorry, let me slow down. So can there be hair loss with both hyper and hypothyroidism?
I think more so I see it, or like the doctor that my PCP was saying, they see it more when it's on the lower end. The other thing that people don't realize too, even though you may treat your thyroid issue, some of those medications can also cause hair loss. So even though you're filling in that gap, the medications can still cause hair loss. But that's the thing. But a lot of people don't realize that even medications can cause hair loss issues. So a lot of those medications, and what those look like, are your hypertensive people. If you're high blood pressure medications, but how you can tell that a person is having, normally, most of the customers that I have that are losing hair from their blood pressure medications, they don't lose hair around their perimeter. Like, they have hair all around here. It's normally hair loss right in the center of their head, or thinning.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like dead in the center of their head. And that's, again, that might not be for everybody. Those are what I've seen so far within like my customer like base. And a lot of people too, like I do like lives on like TikTok and stuff, like just to talk to like the different people over there. And a lot of them are like, yeah, you're right. But again, hypertensive medications can cause some hair loss. Thyroid medications can cause some hair loss. As well as for women that get to the menopausal state. Menopause, a lot of people, again, or women just in general, even men, but they don't hit the menopausal phase. They don't hit menopause, but at the same time, once they get of a certain age, you see a lot of men losing their hair. Why is that? Because what tends to happen in men, their testosterone is low. And women, their estrogen and progesterone are low. Which again are 2 separate things that can be supplemented. But a lot of women just resort to, it just comes with age. Like, yeah, it does come with age. But again, hair loss is fine. We're supposed to lose 50 to 100 strands a day. But if you're to the point where you're combing and you losing clumps, now we got a problem. Because that's not supposed, you're trying to grow the hair.
Right.
What you have, you don't want to, every time you get in the mirror, you losing hair.
Right.
Some other things that come along with that too, even if you're not at the menopausal age, a lot of women have hormonal imbalances, but you'll never know until you go get your labs done.
Here we go.
So some of the things that you can see in the hormonal area with hair loss are things like your prolactin. Your prolactin is a hormone for pregnant women. It tells their body to produce breast milk. But again, for women that are not pregnant and women that are pregnant, which some labs, like when I was looking at my lab values for that particular value, they have it as premenopausal and postmenopausal. So the values are completely different. Men also have it as well. But again, their bodies don't tell them to produce milk. But the two values can be separate, but you have to, like, literally, if you're pregnant, it may be on the higher end or the lower end, rather than if you're not pregnant or at the postmenopausal, premenopausal state.
So I have a question. Well, I'm receiving a question from one of our family members who's asking about the correlation between hair loss and lupus medications.
Yes, hair loss is there. So I have a cousin actually that it was funny because she got diagnosed when I was younger. So prior to me even starting my business, making my product. And it was funny because she got diagnosed a while back, and she used to have long, beautiful hair. And it was funny because I even have one of my close friends as well, same exact thing, on lupus medications. But she said that, like, the friend, for instance, it shows up different in her mom. I think her mom has lupus, and then the medication for her causes hair loss. And then the medication for her mom's hair is fine. But it depends on the medication that you're on, because there are different meds out there. Every person is not on the same medication. But what I like to tell a lot of people is to be proactive rather than reactive. That's like the same exact thing when it comes to radiation and chemo. Like, it comes with the territory. But again, if you're proactive rather than reactive, like, yes, you know you're going to lose your hair, for instance, with chemo radiation, but it's like, okay, now once you're in this remission state, what can we do? Because a lot of times, even with our chemo patients, for instance, they are in remission and their hair grows back, but their hair grows back way thinner than it was before. And they still may lose hair. But again, it comes with the proactive, like being proactive rather than reactive. So it's like, okay, I know that I'm in remission kind of thing. I know I'm not receiving treatment anymore. I can still lose hair, but then it's also knowing your body and knowing the changes.
Sure.
Because you may be, let's say, on a lupus medication, hypertension medication, all those things. And let's say the one med you're on, you're fine. And all of a sudden you get on this next med, you're like, well, damn, my hair falling out. Like,
right.
Why? But you have to, it's, again, a lot, and I hate this for women and men. They just resorted to comes with age. Yes, it comes with age, but still go get your labs taken. Go get these things checked out, because again, it could be something underlying.
So, and this leads me to the question, and family, y'all know I do not know, which is why I'm asking, and I'm asking for a pass. Okay. But I know when we're talking about hair and we're talking about follicles, and so the hair, the strand itself, is that the follicle? And so it comes from
the follicle is in the scalp.
It is in the scalp.
So,
okay.
Yeah, the part that's out is the shaft. So
Is the
that would be
shaft.
like the hair shaft. But
Okay.
then I hate this for women and men too. And like a lot of my customers will agree, and a lot of even hairdressers, all of those type of things, people that are in the same like line of business that I am in. I hate the fact that so many of us Black women, and I mean women in general, but you see it much more in our community than you do in others based off of our styles. So many of us have tension alopecia and we don't talk about it.
What is that?
So tension alopecia is a form of alopecia when there is a lot of tension and basically the follicle is being pulled. And what tends to happen is if the style is too tight, you'll see that white bulb at the end of the, if you've ever had braids, a lot of the women that get locks, even men get locks. Normally with braids and locks, you see if it's too tight, you'll get the bumps. And sometimes you will see the white root of the follicle. And what that is it's pulled right out, like literally it's pulled out of the spot that it's supposed to be in, which is in your scalp, not out.
Oh my goodness. See, I never knew that. Of course, well, why would I, right? But never ever knew that. Never. But that's, of course, growing up having braids or even having friends who've gotten braids. I've seen that. We don't. And we you know what we always do? We accept the fact that we say a little grease, and then we say, oh, well, the braids took out my edges. That's
But
what we tend
again,
to say, but it does not
it's
have to do
tension
so.
alopecia.
Tension alopecia.
And
Family,
it's avoidant. You can avoid it.
okay, as I'm hearing you talk about it, we absolutely can. Family, if you have just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with one of my beloveds, CARLY, ASARÜ, owner of Lillian's Lush Organics, and we're talking about hair loss. Okay, that's what we're talking about. I want to take a moment just to acknowledge some of our family members who are also joining us on our socials. Raphael, hi there, brother. Raphael Suleiman is writing good evening to you as well. Brother Joey Dixon writes peace to you as well. And George Burris, hi there for joining us. Thank you. Miss Lily shares that she suffers with hypothyroidism. And not only do you suffer with hair loss, but your fingernails, your toenails can also become extremely brittle. She writes that also don't forget that Graves' disease can also cause hair loss.
Yeah, which is another form of a thyroid endocrine issue. So yeah, again, I feel like I said, vitamins are a big one. Your thyroid plays a huge part. No matter if you have Graves' disease, hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, like the thyroid is an area of just literally, the thyroid is a small gland, as we all know, and it literally sends hormones, and it's a metabolism organ. Like it has a big job that it has to do. And when that job is not being done, that's when different processes in your body can go wrong. So, and again, a lot of people, if you don't go get your love, even when your thyroid, like some people have, let's say, fatigue, for instance. I'm just tired. It's my iron. No, go to the doctors and get your labs done.
You can't, I'm hearing you can't stress it enough that we all need
but
to
they
stay.
don't listen.
We need to stay on top of. We need to stay on top of our labs. We definitely do. So I'm hearing you say we're talking about the different medical conditions that some have that are causing hair loss, and you're saying that sometimes we can help the process by taking supplements or vitamins. Even though some of our family members are have some of these conditions. Or
so I would say more so, if you have a deficiency or condition, for instance, the best way to treat it is to get it checked, number one, and then move on with how you can handle that condition. So again, if it's hyperthyroidism, you need to get on some medication because your thyroid is overactive. If it's overactive, it's making too much of hormones that it should not be making. It's a certain level, moderation, that it should be making. So once you get to that point where, let's say you're taking you got it checked, now you're treating it. Now, okay, if we're like, for instance, if you're still experiencing hair loss, which some people still, again, experience it even with the treatments for the particular problem. Now it's like, okay, what can we do? Again, you want to be proactive instead of reactive. So I do have a lot of customers, again, that are on hypertension medications, for instance. Like, again, they know with that particular medication that they are on, they may have some hair thinning. For people that are on, let's say, lupus medication, thyroid medications, again, if you're treating the issue and you're doing what you need to do, then you can move on to how can we fix the hair loss, hair thinning issue. But to just not treat the issue. Like I had a customer, she told me, she said, I'm iron deficient. I said, okay, well, you're iron deficient. What did the doctor say? So she said, well, I need a blood transfusion, but it's against my spirituality. I said, that's totally fine. Like, again, you believe in what you believe in. I can't tell you any different. And I said to her, though, I said, well, what are you doing to combat that deficiency? Because if you're that deficient that you need a blood transfusion, you're pretty low. And she said, well, I'm doing hibiscus tea and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I'm like, well, are you getting enough in per day that is going to help with that deficiency? Are you on any supplements? Like, what are we doing? Hibiscus tea by itself, you can drink a whole box of it if you please, but if you're that deficient, it's not going to bridge that gap between the deficiency and you now being within normal range.
So oh wow. So one of our family members is sharing that she takes hydroxychloroquine And she believes that is the reason that
which is a high
contributing.
blood pressure medication.
So
I believe it's a high blood pressure medication. I believe so. It's so many out there, and so many my customers are like throwing, and I'm like, okay, that's this and that's that. But more than likely, like I said, a lot of the hypertension medications, many of them, for instance, they do cause hair loss. But again, it's all about.
I'm sorry, lupus.
She said hydroxychloroquine was for her lupus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking of hydroxyzine, which is a hypertension medication. But yeah, it's a lot of medications out there that do cause hair loss. And again, it's all about knowing your body. And once you know your body and know, okay, well, now this medication is causing this side effect. If you know it's causing that side effect, it's like you out the pros and the cons. Is it helping your actual issue? So if it's the lupus, is it helping with that issue? And does that outweigh the hair loss, for instance, or like the other side effects that it may be causing? But like hair loss usually is not at the bottom compared to some of the other side effects, but a lot of times it's the last resort. Like if it's actually helping with your issue, continue on that med unless it's causing those kind of side effects where it's like, okay, this ain't supposed to be happening.
Right.
But a lot of my, or just customers in general, even anybody that comes over to my table usually, or if I'm out in like public, doing like events and stuff, I'm like, do your part, get what you need to do, like get what you need to get done, and then follow up.
It's so important.
It's past important. And a lot of people, again, they make products and they do all these different things. And okay, yes, it may grow that person's hair back, but if they're deficient, for instance, and they're not fulfilling that deficiency, I don't care what you tell them that their product is going to do, because again, then it becomes a constant cycle. So like that girl that I talked about with her iron, I said, are you on this constant hamster? Well, she said, yes. I said, so what happens is, since she's not treating her iron deficiency the way she should, for instance, she's on this constant cycle of her hair growing and then falling out, falling out, falling out.
Yeah, well, there you have it. Family, listen, what we're going to do right now, we're going to take just a short break, but when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation about hair loss. So stay with us because we'll be right back.
Are you ready to train for a career beyond the ordinary? Orleans Technical College in Northeast Philadelphia can help you get there. At Orleans Tech, we offer hands-on training and diploma programs in high-demand fields like air conditioning, refrigeration and heating, building maintenance, carpentry, plumbing and heating, and residential and commercial electricity, plus our brand new healthcare program, Clinical Medical Assistant. Start your dream career. Call us at 215-728-4700 or visit our website at orleanstech.edu.
This is not a fad for us. We will not resume our regular programming when things die down. We're not black to help our bottom line or because it's politically correct. We're not joining a fight. This has been our fight, our message, our people. Black lives have always mattered here. We are undeniably, indefatigably, unapologetically, permanently Black Talk Media. WURD.
Need a minute? Take a breath and breathe in positivity. Here are words of joy and empowerment from WURD Radio.
For Haiku by Beverly Lomax. Dive into water. Relax and come to the top. Swim life's obstacles. I let go of fear. I hold on to love and laugh. I be strong and sing. Clarity, my friend. Hold my hand and show me way. We grow together. Meditate, sing, dance. Wade in the waters of life. Come through strong and clear. I'm Beverly Lomax.
This joy and empowerment vignette was brought to you by Comcast.
Pollution from trucks is a public health crisis. Diesel-burning trucks belch dangerous levels of pollution, and communities living near ports and along freight corridors breathe especially high levels of this dirty air. But this crisis has a solution. My name is Sasan Sadat, and I work for Earth Justice. I'm working to clean up our air quality, particularly for communities that bear the burden of diesel pollution. For the sake of our lungs, our health, and our climate, The future of trucking in this country has got to be zero emissions. Until then, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Earth Justice is fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. If clean air matters to you, visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. We are back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with CARLY ASARÜ, owner of Lillian's Lush Organics, and we're talking about hair loss tonight. That's what we're talking about. That's the topic of the evening. I want to take just a moment before we continue our conversation to acknowledge some of our family members who have joined the conversation. Alfredia, hey there, Frey. Alfredia Lismore, she writes, good evening, all. She'd like to know what your thoughts are about biotin, but I want to also say hello to Cynthia Tyre. I'm so sorry. Hi, beautiful. Blessings to you as well. But CARLY, Alfredia is asking what your thoughts are about biotin.
So I feel like for the longest, I took it for the longest. So like a lot of us, we go get hair, skin, and nail vitamins. It's like my nails are brittle, like it's going to make them harder. Like my hair is like not thinner, but it's weaker, all that good stuff. But I literally just found out while doing some research that biotin also causes some of our hormones. So when you get your thyroid tested, for instance, it causes some of those hormones to be off, like can alter some of the hormones within our thyroid, which can cause our lab levels to show up on the lower side. So it's kind of like it has its pros and its cons, for instance, right? So I personally, like, for instance, like I was like, okay, they're like, take more of it and do all of these things. So like at one point I was taking 2,500 mcgs. Some people it works for, some people it doesn't work. I feel like all of our bodies are different. So I find that if it does work, good for you, then keep on using it. If you find a difference in your hair, for instance, in your skin and nails, like it does nothing for my skin. Like my skin, I need more oomph. But I find that for me, which is like where my product came from, I feel like topical stuff works better. For myself, as far as like strengthening my hair and growing my hair and all of that kind of stuff. It doesn't help the nail part and the skin part, but as far as like hair things, I feel like topical works better for me. The other thing that I find too is like, again, I have a very difficult scalp. Like my scalp, I feel like wasn't blessed with a good scalp, hates me. So I do need more. A lot of people find that if they take biotin, for instance, that, it's like, it's this holy grail, I don't have to do nothing else. Like I feel like topical things matter more. So what are you putting on, like conditioning wise? So what are you using for conditioner, shampoos, like serums, all that kind of stuff? I feel like that's more important than the vitamin part of it. And there are also so many foods with biotin in it. So it's funny because I go to the nutritionist, and it's funny because I'm like, I take a multivitamin, and she's like, you do realize, or like I told her, like, she's like, what do you take? When I first saw her, and I'm like, I take biotin, I take this, I take that. And she's like, you do realize that you pee all of that out, right? And I was like,
wow. Oh, wow.
So you get what I'm saying? Like our body only saves part of our vitamins and stuff. So what she was saying, which makes a lot of sense. Again, if you do need the supplement, take the supplement, but you also need to eat foods in those categories that you are deficient in. But I find, again, that a lot of foods, like, and she even said this to me, I feel like getting your vitamins, like your biotin and all those, your keratin and collagen and all those things that are great for hair, like growth, loss, strengthening, all that good stuff. She said it's better to get it from foods, like your actual food sources, rather than
And
taking the supplements.
my Lord. Oh, I want to take a moment to go to our phone lines. I believe one of our family members is waiting to talk with us. Are you still there by any chance?
Hi.
Is this Miss Viola?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Miss Viola. How are you?
I'm doing great. I guess I did tell you that I'm a hairdresser also.
You see, I missed that. No, I don't
Or
remember that.
beautician, they hairstylist, beautician.
Wait, one of
Come
a
in your
miracle
name.
worker. I call you all miracle workers because, quite honestly,
They have all these new names for us now. So, but I went to beauty school back in 1978 at Wilfred Academy.
Wilfred Academy. Yes, yes. I remember Wilfred Academy. Yeah. I
Yeah, Roosevelt Mall.
I love you all. Trust me, because I am horrible with hair.
But she is saying so much that I was riding in my car and I couldn't call then. But I said, I got to get home so I can call because I agree with what she's saying. There's a lot of things that I've had to learn after the, fact, but I knew how to do hair because we learned it within our household. But I went to beauty school to get a license after I decided that I wanted to do something. And I told my husband I wanted to go to beauty school. So I was 27 years old when I went to beauty school.
Wow.
And I had to teach a lot of us how, if you allow me to clip your ends, your hair will grow.
People don't want to hear that. They don't want to
They
hear that.
don't. They don't. They don't want to hear that at all.
And that's
Yeah.
because we looked at scissors as being a bad thing for our hair. But I taught many of my customers, let me clip your end every 4 to 6 weeks. And they said, wow, I never knew that would make my hair grow because it cuts off those dead ends that aren't doing anything. And, but I want to tell you about me. I have a thyroid condition. I have an enlarged thyroid that I've had since I was like 19 years old when I first discovered it. I take no medicine. I've had thyroid scans, thyroid biopsies. I've had, mostly everything. But I think my thyroid became enlarged as a child when I had pneumonia at 3 or 4 years old and had x-rays, and they didn't know anything about putting that shield up against your neck. So when I go to the dentist or if I get an x-ray, I make sure I always get a shield with a collar. I learned about thyroid and x-rays from a television program that was on, must have been 40 years or more, on PBS, of an Italian family up in the New England states. And they all basically had some thyroid conditions, but they talked about the x-rays. And so I related it to it, because I've never had to take anything. I have no problem with hair. I've had hair down to my shoulders and, cut it off and grows back. But I'm very gray because I love red hair. Oh my gosh. I love red hair. That horse's mane, that auburn color?
Yes.
Oh, that's what I had. But I'm enjoying the show. But I wanted to at least talk about the thyroid. I have a cousin that has severe alopecia. She started losing her hair before she was 12 years old. She had the prettiest coal black curly hair you ever wanted to see. And she's also hearing impaired, but she has done fantastically in her education. She has, she's working on her doctorate, her PhD now in education. And most of her girlfriends and all had no idea that she couldn't hear and wore double hearing aids. And she had no hair. Well, she had hair in places.
Right.
When she was 18, her mother passed away, which was my first cousin. We had no idea. I would put hair in her head on the little bit of hair that she had. And I never knew it. Her mother was getting it done, but she also belonged to the Alopecia Foundation. I don't know about the Alopecia Foundation. But her as a young girl, there was a white lady that I think started that Alopecia Foundation. And I saw a young lady in a Walmart down here, and I just needed to ask her, why was she partly bald? And she said, I have alopecia. And when I told her about my cousin and told her about the Alopecia Foundation, She was so happy that I approached her.
I didn't know they had a foundation. I mean, it
God.
makes sense that they do, but I, of course, was unaware.
Well, there was a white lady, I think she might have been in Philadelphia or either from New York, that started the foundation, and she was just as bald as she could be and had earrings, makeup, and everything. My cousin now wears wigs. She'll be 50 the end of this month, but she wears wigs mostly all the time. But when she had her children and she would be at home, she would have me cracking up. She said she'd take her earpiece out and take her wig off. She said she couldn't hear nothing.
That had to have been a beautiful existence.
You know? But she went to Cheney with Tiffany Bacon. Her and Tiffany Bacon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, she's my second cousin. Her mom was my first cousin. And she got a birthday coming up the end of this month. And I already done bought, I think, 3 birthday cards to send her. So I have to tell her to check her mail because this generation don't check their mail.
Well,
if they don't get it on
I don't check my mail.
Yeah, I was about to say that's true. That's so true. That is so true. Yeah, that's so true.
Day cards. I sent my children Mother's Day cards, and one of my granddaughters, she just sent me a picture of the card with $5 in it. Thank you, Mama. I didn't know what she was talking about. When I looked at the picture, I said, she finally went through her mail and found $5. And that was a Mother's Day card. Now this is July. She just
oh my goodness. Oh Lord, Miss Viola, she's got to do better. And she might listen.
Well, next year I won't send them any cards.
Oh.
But I thought it was nice for me being a mom, and I have 4 daughters and 3 granddaughters that are mothers. I sent all of them Mother's Day cards.
Oh, that was very nice of you.
And,
that was very nice of you.
You know, I feel as though that they're my daughters and they're mothers. Why not? You know, most people think that, well, you're not my mother. I said, but I am a mother. So why wouldn't you send your grandmother a Mother's Day card? I sent my grandmother's Day cards. You know, my God, I mean, I did all that. But anyway, back to hair. You have done a magnificent job in explaining a lot of things about especially alopecia. You know, my aunt had hair like Loretta Young with a bang and down to her shoulders, and she would send us to get those invisible hair nets and make that page boy. And by the time she got 60 years old, she had alopecia. But I'm not sure whether it may have come from thinning also, although I didn't lose my hair from dying, but some people do. You know, it just all depends. And then I told her when she washes her hair, it was naturally curly. I told her to use mayonnaise as a treatment.
My mother used to do that. She mayonnaise and oatmeal. She would do oatmeal too.
See? But do you know they sell mayonnaise conditioners in that store that begins with an S?
I did not know that.
When
I did not know that, but I know my mother used to. She would do that. She'd make a concoction. Sometimes she'd add honey to it too, but mostly mayonnaise and oatmeal. And she would put it in her hair, and she would have a plastic or saran wrap, or she would have like a plastic bag or saran wrap, and she would let it sit for a little. That's what she would do.
But how about Glover's? I used to mix up my own Glover's mains, that sulfur stink stuff that was
You did.
I mixed mine with castor oil and Blue Magic or the Green Magic pomade.
Oh, Miss Viola!
And I tell you, my hair was always long, and I didn't tell too many people, but I didn't wash my hair but maybe once a year.
But really?
Wait.
Wait, because I know they do say, you know, when you let it go, they say that dirt helps your hair to grow. And I don't mean to say it like that, but they do say that. But you know what? I tell you, there's got to be some truth to it, because when we wear braids, we don't wash our hair as regularly as we would if we did not have braids. So there's got to be truth to it, because our hair does grow. It grows.
I think it comes with the scalp conditions, though. I feel like that. Like I was saying to a couple of my customers about that as well. Like it depends on your scalp health. That's the biggest thing. If your scalp is healthy, mine definitely ain't. I just had to wash mine a couple days ago with the braids.
Okay, so that's
And no, mine won't
Yeah,
grow
me?
because my plaques and all that.
I'm the one because I of course I'm speaking. Now y'all know I'm speaking about me. I'm speaking about myself. So when I
Mine
have
don't grow.
braids, I don't wash my hair as regularly, and it grows like a weed. It really does.
Yeah, I'm the total opposite.
But I wish it
Total
must be
opposite.
vanity when I don't have braids because I shampoo it and then I wonder why it's not growing as quickly. Which is crazy.
I've never had braids, and I
Really?
basically refuse to put any braids in my hair because there's nobody black that owns a hair product. I mean, a hair factory.
Miss Viola, that's
do
how about that?
I have had wigs in the past, but I don't bother with them anymore. I wear my hair natural when I need to. Right now, it's going to be natural because of the humidity.
Mm-hmm.
When I do wear my hair straight, I blow it dry with a little light oil and flat iron it, and I pin curl my hair. I had a lady come to my house one day years ago, and she saw me take the pin curls out, and my hair was so curly and fluffy. She said, "You got to show me how to do that."
No, Miss Viola, let me tell you how I just learned that. Roxanne Beasley, if you see her, Gerald Beasley's wife, her hair is beautiful. It is long, it is full, it is thick. And she said, I don't put a comb. She does it with her fingers. And she says she uses pin curler clips. And I said, okay, well, I'm on this hair journey. I mean, my hair is not damaged. It's healthy, but I want to maintain its health. And I want to do well. I really want to do well with it. So I'm learning these tips and tricks, and she just shared that with me. And the funny thing is I have pin curler clips. You would think I've been using them forever, but I have them and I just started. Now, of course, like you said, Ms. Viola, my hair is natural right now and it's brushed back because of the humidity, because you all don't want to know what. Yeah, well, it's going to be out and I'm going to be happy with it and I'm going to wear it proudly. But on that note, family, it's time for us to take a break. I didn't realize I wasn't looking at the clock. I was enjoying our conversation. Ms. Viola, thank you for calling. Family, stay with us because we're going to take just a short commercial break, but we'll be right back.
Did you know that you can be paid to take care of a loved one or a relative? Hi, this is Nick Taliaferro for Affectionate Reliable Care, otherwise known as ARC Philly. For the better part of a decade, ARC Philly has been helping caregivers get the pay and support they deserve. ARC Philly provides the best pay and benefits in the industry, so if you're providing home care to a loved one, call ARC Philly at 610-991-7799. That's 610-991-7799, or visit them on the web at arcphilly.com and be sure to ask about their sign-on bonus.
What are you waiting for? If you've been enjoying the information and interviews WURD provides every day, or come out to our community events, it might be time to become a member. This year marks the 20th anniversary of WURD, and there's no better time to join the forward movement. Sign up or renew your sustaining membership at just $90, or your digital membership for just $5 a month. Join online at wordradio.com/membership, or pick up the phone and give us a call at 215-425-7875. Press 4 for assistance. The time to join is now.
What am I waiting for?
Summer is here, and so is WURD's annual Summer of Freedom Tour. WURD Radio is proud to partner with Philadelphia Parks and Recreation and the Center for Families and Relationships for a summer of fun, freedom, and healthy communities. Join us in Germantown, Overbrook, North Philly, and Southwest Philly, where Tanya Pendleton will broadcast live each Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Discover all that our recreation centers have to offer. Meet with mental health specialists who will provide support to children impacted by gun violence. Join WURD's community partners for hands-on outdoor activities and hear live performances from local artists. Win tickets and prizes and stand with WURD by joining or renewing your Forward membership on site. Meet us at our first stop Thursday, July 13th in Germantown at the Rumpf Mallory Recreation Center, 100 East Johnson Street. Summer of Freedom is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and the Energy Co-op.
How is your drive to school? Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Are you looking for courageous conversations equipped with the verbal gymnastics worthy of an Olympic gold medal? Well, look no further than Evening Words with host Nick Taliaferro, Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., exclusively on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, streaming online at wordradio.com, on social, and on the Word Radio app.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love
And we're back. Family, you're tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. So before the break, Ms. Viola was sharing all kinds of tips and tricks with us. Well, Ms. Viola, let me tell you something. Alfredia on our socials writes, Ms. Viola, if you use a brown paper bag to curl your hair, I'm coming to Philly. That's what she wrote. She said, I love it. So, okay, I'm realizing that we have just a few moments left to tonight's episode. Carly, what can you share? What kind of tips can you share with our men?
I would say the same exact thing. Get your labs taken. So the vitamins apply to the men. The thyroid health applies to the men. The only thing that I will say, like prolactin is relating to men, which is a hormone as well. Like I said, are in both men and women. Get their testosterone checked, because a lot of men, again, they are just, I'm just getting old. Like, yeah, Bill, you are getting old, but your testosterone levels are probably low, because once you get to a certain age, they start to go down. Just like in women, our progesterone and estrogen levels start to decrease. And if you are, if you are deficient, do what you need to do. And I know I don't want to be stereotypical, but a lot of men are very afraid to go to the doctors. Just get the labs checked. Go to the doctor. Like I had one of my guy friends, he was like, I'm just scared of what they're going to say. I'm like, if nothing's wrong, just go.
Yeah.
So again, get those labs checked. And I will, for anybody that is listening right now, I'll say it again. And for both men and women, the 7 vitamins are your vitamin A, your vitamin B, your vitamin C, your vitamin D, your vitamin E, as well as zinc and iron. Again, so many people know about the vitamin D and the iron, but there are 5 other vitamins that can be involved in if you are experiencing hair loss or thinning, which a lot of men too, again, they experience hair loss and thinning, and they just, again, I'm just getting old. Like, no, sir, go to the doctors, get your labs checked. The other labs, thyroid, T3, T4, TSH. What were you about to say?
I was thinking when you were talking, because earlier you mentioned about foods, about the foods that we eat, about the vitamins being in the foods that we eat. I know right now we're all doing different things with our food. We're eating plant-based foods. We're eating a lot of different types of foods. Are they also helpful?
Yes. But since a lot of us, like you said, like sent back, like probably my grandmom's day, my parents' day. Remember vitamin D, for instance, which is like everybody was drinking milk, right?
Right.
That's a big source right there. But a lot of people, again, are doing their own thing. So again, I don't drink as much milk anymore either, but milk was a huge source of vitamin D. It's just finding what are good sources of these vitamins in your foods and just try to touch on them. It doesn't have to be a lot. Like nobody's saying if your iron is low to eat 10 bags of spinach today, because again, as much as you're going to eat it, you're going to poop all of that out.
Right.
You have to, it's like you have to give. A lot of other things that people aren't doing is drinking water.
Yeah.
I like to tell my customers, drink your water, mind your business, and oil your edges. That's basics. And a lot of people, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do it.
Goodness.
So
Mind
again,
your
if you're drinking your water, and again, supplements work, but for you to be going overboard, for instance,
Yeah.
like you're doing this supplement and it's supposed to work for that, we pee most of that out. So by us peeing most of it out, you're not getting a full benefit. Whereas if you eat foods that are good in those categories, like vitamin, for iron, for instance, beans are a good source. Nuts are a great source. Spinach, broccoli, like leafy greens, tofu. I'm not a tofu person because of texture, but tofu is a great source for anybody that's plant-based and don't eat much meat. Meat-wise, red meat, they say, I don't eat red meat. And I think that was my biggest downfall when my iron was low, because I don't eat steak and all of that. So the nutritionist was like, that's a great source, but I'm like, my stomach, it doesn't balance out. Like my stomach can't take and process it well. So then I'm going to be in pain and be all messed up just because I'm trying to get my iron levels back together.
Right.
But talk to your doctor. Like literally, it's just a quick conversation. And what else I like to tell people is I am always open for emails. So if you ever have an issue, if you go to my website, which is lillianslussorganics.com, again, that's lillianslussorganics.com, and put your name in, put your email address, and just put a message in the contact us tab. I'm open and like can kind of tell you like, hey, I would go see my doctor about that. Or like, this is what you can use, or like those type of things. Even a nutritionist appointment is covered by our insurance. Talk to a nutritionist.
Okay. On that note, I don't want you to think that it was lost on me that you said you were in Philadelphia. You did a pop-up. Now I know I'm all over the globe too, but let me tell you something. Next time you come to Philadelphia, and I don't know. Okay, but on that
I'm here.
note,
I live here.
In any event, shut up. Why did you?
Yeah, I live here.
See, okay, family, because now I'm looking at the clock. It is that time. It is that time as we wrap up tonight's episode. And I have just been thrown under the bus all night. I extend my gratitude to each and every one of you as you continue to support Love and Life. Special thanks to our guests, both Dillon Swaine and CARLY ASARÜ, for sharing your time, your energy, your space, your knowledge, your attention with all of us. To our callers, thank you for your knowledge, for sharing your time, energy, space, and knowledge with us as well. Special thanks to Kayla J, Niall Jax, the entire WURD family. Don't think that I missed you, Heather Wilson. Don't think that I missed you, Jamal Smith. Don't think I missed you, Dr. Nia Imani, Wayne Garrick. Family, we're all in this together. You hear me? Be good to you, but be good to those around you. Have a great night, and be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Good night, y'all.